This is really the Fighter and the Kid.
Come on, baby.
We got a very special guest on the Fighter and Kid today. It is Trump's favorite fighter, Jorge Masvidal.
Kind of everybody's favorite fighter. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but it's special when it's Trump's favorite fighter. It's between you and probably Colby, right?
Yeah, but he's been to 2 of my fights and none of Kobe's, so.
It's a fair point, dude. I feel like he sides with you a little bit, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
And then you'll never hear him mention Kobe did anything for him in the election. Numerous times, interview after interview, he's mentioned how which I don't think I helped him, but he always gives me a lot of credit for Florida, for the Latin community in Florida, Miami.
Yeah, he does, huh?
You know, so obviously, I mean, it's on both sides now, you know, in the personal.
There's a
and
mutual
business,
respect there.
Me, you know?
When you're out there though, and you have people like Trump, and you have these movie stars and stuff, do you ever think about that when you're about to fight? Does that ever get in your head?
When it seriously could have got to my head was when I fought Nate Diaz. So The Rock was given the belt. My favorite fighter of all time. The only guy that when I seen, I was like, fucking. I didn't even want to look him in the eye. I was like, I can't believe it's fucking Roberto Duran's just walking out with me. And then Trump was sitting cage side. So before the fight, I just didn't care. I completely 100% just zeroed out, and I was like, I'll have fun with all that at the end of it, whatever the results are. For right now, I'm here for a fist fight. I don't give a fuck who came, who didn't come. If my mom came, I don't give a fuck. I'm just here to fight.
And you beat the brakes off him.
Yeah.
He had a great
and you gotta be selfish. Yeah, I tried to kill his ass.
Yeah, you had to. I would give some of those rounds 10-8.
Easy, man.
But when you said that the fighter you couldn't look in the eye was who?
Roberto Duran. You know, I could look him in the eye, but initially it was like, man.
Who was the fighter?
Roberto Duran.
Oh, Roberto Duran. Oh, yeah.
I thought you said The Rock.
Yeah, me too.
Rock. I was like,
hey, bro, we're a little too loose on the term fighter when you're calling The Rock a fighter. I enjoy the guy myself.
I was like, fighter. I was like,
you beat the shit out of him. You know that, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about Roberto Duran, man, the greatest lightweight of all time. That's when I first met him right there, and at first I was like, holy smart, I'm meeting this dude right now.
It makes total sense that would be your favorite fighter.
Man, it was just like
legend.
I couldn't believe I was there meeting him, and then I got to hang out with him the night before my fight. He went with us to have dinner, and we're talking, and he's like saying stories and be like, he'll say a joke, and then he like punch me in the leg, you know. And the first time I was like, holy smokes, it was a cool little stinger. He did it like 3-4 more times. I had to tell him, you're gonna fucking wreck my leg, bro. I'm not even joking, bro.
I gotta fight tomorrow, bro. Yeah,
it was just like one after another, and fucking just a dense dude.
And that was in Miami, right?
No, that was in New York.
Was it in New York?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, for the BMF title. That's right.
You think about Duran, who fought Iron Barkley at I think 67.
30. Yeah, 67.
Like,
he was 38 years old. It's crazy, man.
Just would fight anybody. Well, you're kind of the same way. I mean, if
yeah.
there was an incarnation of Roberto Duran.
But he did it all the weights too, you know.
Yeah.
He started, I think, at like 130, went all the way to 168.
Yeah, he jumped all over.
That was unbelievable. Yeah.
You seem like you're in. I guess we could say you retired from UFC, but you're not really retired. You're busy as hell. And
retired from life, never. Just retired. When I got into MMA, it's because I wanted to fight the best in the world, always. You know, I knew that I maybe wasn't the best in the world at my early stages, but I knew my goal was I'm going to make as much money as possible and fight the best guys in the world, because that's what I want to do. I want to push myself to that limit. So once my reflexes, mainly that, started slowing down, I was like, if I can't compete with the best guys in the world, I don't want to do this anymore. You get me? Like, I don't want to.
I'm with you 100%. But a lot of guys, like you look at, like, you know, Tony Ferguson, like BJ Penn, I don't know if it's your team, Dean, and the rest of the boys, I don't know if they're the ones who are like, hey man, you can still compete at a high level. I don't know if you can be world champion. Like, clearly Tony Ferguson or BJ Penn doesn't have those guys, but I also think for you, one of the reasons you're able to,
they might have those guys, but you know how fighters are.
There's a reason why they're great fighters.
When did you?
But you also hold up, you also have a lot going on outside of the octagon. Like you have the Gamebred fight promotion, you got your tequila, you're doing all this other stuff. So I think when guys have other things to do, it makes that easier. Those guys don't have a lot of that other stuff going on. So I think that's one of the benefits where you're like, I can focus on this too.
Definitely, you know, and it sucks to hear it if a guy's like still fighting because it's monetary. You know, like a guy like Tony Ferguson, I would, you know, at the very least and worst case, I would hope that he's set for life.
And
him and his
should
kids,
be.
Right? Like, he should never have to work again, because of all the money that he's brought in for the company, all the entertainment that he's given us, all the pay-per-views we purchased with Tony headlining or co-headlining him. You know, I would think he's good for life, so I hope it's not for the money. But some fighters, though, even if they have the money, like BJ Penn's case, They don't care. They just want to fight.
That's what makes him great, but it's also it's like a curse too.
Yeah.
When
It's
did
like,
you
God
feel?
damn, bro.
When did you feel like you had lost a tiny step?
All the way to like 34, 35, it was like if I was 19 years old with my reflexes. It wasn't really like, maybe my hands weren't as fast, but reflex was. I was just as good. And then power is something that leaves you later in life as a man. It's the last thing to leave you. So I felt that all the way up to that point, I was only kind of getting better. My reflexes were still pretty intact, you know. Around like 35 is when I felt the drop off, and I felt it in the gym first. 35, 36.
Getting caught on
37.
things or
Yeah,
what?
getting caught.
how old are you
getting
now?
hit. 38.
But here's where his story is different, because obviously you're a big name in the sport, but you weren't getting your due. You're always like a hardcore favorite, you know, from Strikeforce and all that stuff in the UFC. Everyone loved your fights. But then, especially maybe to I don't think you slowed down, but you said you slowed down at that age. But that's right when you started popping.
Yeah.
That's when the big fights started to come, and you transcended into, you know, like the Nate Diaz level, and like people had, so it was like must-see TV. So you might be a little slower, but it just happened so in your career, that's when you like caught on.
Yeah.
So you can't retire then, because that's what made kind of where you're at now.
Yeah. So like 33, 34 is when I like blew up, you know, and I was still feeling good, and it wasn't until like 35 really that I'm like, oh, I don't have the same, like I'm getting hit by guys that would never hit me before in departments where I'm very good. Yeah, you know, if I'm losing to a guy that's really good in wrestling, keeps taking me down, that's one thing. But if I'm getting like outstruck by certain guys, I could tell like, man, something's like a tad bit off, you know. So that's when I started noticing, and I always told myself when I can't compete with the guys in the room, and I have a very good room to judge my skills off.
Some would say the best room.
Easily, if you ask me, obviously, but I'm biased. I would say the best room in the world. And when I'm testing myself against the best in the world, I'm starting to feel now like it's more even, or I'm not getting the better of guys how I used to. Well, then maybe my time has come. I wasn't feeling like that leading up to the Gilbert fight. Actually, I had a great training camp. My sparring was great. My miles were in good time. Like everything was good, you know. But it's just father time when it's actual game time and you're going full blast. I'm just like a millisecond.
And Gilbert's a monster, you know, as well. So it's not.
He's a threat on the feet. He throws hard. He mixes up the grappling. He has a bunch of submissions. You know, he's a world champion.
But I was telling you, you basically ended your career as well as anybody could in this sport.
Thank you, my brother.
I mean, it's just a fact. Stayed colorful, stayed a fan favorite, and because so many of us have seen these great fighters who just cannot let it go.
Well, everyone ends up face down, ass
Everybody.
up. If you stick around long enough, I don't care who you are. You're face down, ass up.
That's it.
Except like John Jones, that dude is like fucking been in it forever too, and like, man,
insane what he's doing.
Yeah, bro,
I think he retires in was it their fights in November? I think he retires.
Do you really?
I think
he beats Stipe.
It makes sense for him to retire.
There's not much for him to do.
He's done everything literally.
Yeah.
The only thing I think though is that Stipe, going in paper into the fight, I think might be his toughest matchup he's ever had.
Really?
Just because of one thing that I know for sure is going to come into play is going to be the wrestling, right? Like I don't think he's going to just walk through Stipe's wrestling. I think Stipe is a very underrated defensive wrestler. He's naturally bigger than John Jones. You can't ever bet against John Jones, I feel, but this is going to be, I think, his toughest fight, man.
I think it depends what version of Stipe we
exactly, too. Yeah, exactly.
Because
he's healthy and in shape.
But also, Stipe's like 255, 260 now.
And
that's why he's been waiting to put on weight. Stipe wrestled at Cleveland State.
Yeah.
Like Division I, like stud wrestling.
Yeah.
So he's going to be able to wrestle back. And I've seen him against everybody he's fought. Nobody's ever taken Stipe down and written him out. You know, and that's a very grueling, tough fight. If Jones has to do that with a guy that can wrestle back
at heavyweight.
At heavyweight, it's a different pace, you know. So I'm very excited to see how that fight goes, you know, because Jones is just Jones. He just finds a way to win. Even if his wrestling got shut down, he's doing something else. But Stipe is also a hell of a competitor. So I'll be cage side for that one.
That'd be sick.
See that one. Yeah.
How did it feel to wrap that BMF title around Justin Gaethje's waist for you?
Bittersweet.
Dustin Poirier is his boy.
Yeah,
right? AGT, that's his guy.
Bittersweet. But I never hate on the game because I'm part of the game. You know, I've knocked out numerous people in this game and so forth. So obviously I wanted to give it to Dustin, but the way Justin won is how BMF is supposed to win, by stoppage, by knockout, you know. So bittersweet, man. I'm hats off to him that he won. He beat our team. But my heart's always with Justin, American Top Team.
Yeah, I love Dustin, but also with that fight, like that could have went either way. Like I thought Dustin won the first round,
definitely,
and got caught.
Yeah,
like that's the BMF title.
Yeah.
BMF title. Like just got caught.
Yeah.
They fight again. That probably doesn't happen. And
Who
he could
knows?
go either way.
It could go
like
either
Dustin
way.
could do it to him.
He was screaming. Tell him what you were screaming.
I was screaming. Dustin had landed in the first round. He had landed some body kicks that turned into head kicks because Justin kept ducking in him and
Yes.
his arm was coming and he was getting hit. So I was yelling in the second round, Dustin, head kick, Dustin, head kick. And then it happened. I was like,
No, not you.
Not you.
yeah. And
KG was like, oh, I thought you were saying Justin.
they were with me. So they were like all clowning me and shit. Like, damn, I thought
that was your
he's
boy, man.
you know? That sucked.
But, all right, so I'm a coffee fanatic. And this is
We
macadamia.
both are, dude. It shows in our teeth. Yours are brown. They look like cornets. Mine are white.
Mine are a beautiful yellow. Now listen, and that's this is macadamia milk from House of Macadamia.
Oh, so should I just put these nuts in there?
No.
No,
They've done it for you.
No, I'll just
They've
put
done it.
these
No,
chocolate-
they've done it for you. Watch this. Now, what we do is this: we just take some of this macadamia milk, and we're gonna put it in. There we go. Look at that. That's pure
That's
macadamia
creamy.
milk right there. All right. I don't want dairy. I'm cutting down on my dairy, but this is as good and healthy a fat as you can get in your coffee.
So it says simply add 1 packet of macadamia milk to base standard
8
shaker cup.
ounces of
8
water.
ounces.
Now watch this. I'm
8
doing a bad
ounces.
job, but I just wanted to show you what I do here.
You got it all
now,
over,
this is
bro.
100% macadamia milk.
Shake it now.
Now
Shake
you
it up.
shake it. Now you shake it. Now you shake it. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. All right? Now that's milk. That's pure macadamia milk. Look at that. Right there. Now watch this.
Straight from the
watch
from
this.
the nuts tip.
Watch this, watch this, watch this. There is my
too much
macadamia.
cream.
No, I like it because it's good for you. So I don't have to worry about the cream. I'm not lactose intolerant. Now watch this. Taste that.
Nice.
Taste that. Taste that. It tastes
nice?
Yeah, taste it. It's beautiful. Taste that.
Oh, that is nice.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's no sugar. That's 100% macadamia.
Wait, hold on. So you're telling
House
me
of
they can get
Macadamia.
the House of Macadamia? They can
I'll give you
get,
20% off. Use the code TFAK.
You get 20% off and the macadamia snack bars.
Well,
you get the
snack
variety
bars.
pack.
Right here. Look at this.
Dude, get nutty.
Look at the snack bar.
Oh, this fires me up like one of them.
I know. You see that? That's the best cup of coffee you'll have. Right there.
HouseOfMacadamias.com.
HouseOfMacadamias.com. Get you some.
Get nutty.
TFAK.
nutty.
/TFAK. But now you got this whole fight league, and you got, is it September 8th?
September 8th.
Dude,
Jacksonville,
Doom,
Florida.
JDS, bare knuckle.
Bare knuckle.
Bare
Now
knuckle,
think
no
about this.
gloves.
That's so scary to me. These two giants with basically no gloves. That's insanity.
And these guys are more hyped than anybody in the world to do it, and it just becomes. It comes from their Brazilianness, from their valetudo ways. Like Verdum is like he wants to add soccer kicks to it. He told me at the press conference, and he pulled me aside. He's like, "Hey man, couldn't we just do like full valetudo?" I'm like,
No.
"There's
No, man,
commissions
there's
involved. I
rules and
can't-
regulations, for God's sake.
This is far enough, man.
Yeah, we're not doing this in the favelas, bro.
Soccer kicks.
But there is
Soccer kicks?
There is a place in America that is allowing soccer kicks, where I am having a show at in December.
Where?
Where's that?
Denver.
Denver, and that's why One Championship went there too, because the One Championship rules too. Denver
we'll be-
allows soccer. It's hell
we'll
yeah.
be going
Why
to-
would Denver? Of all places, I wouldn't think Denver. I think it'd be
Right.
some reservation or something like that.
Yeah, some reservation,
Right?
Some bingo hall.
Like,
But have you seen Fabricio lately? That boy is bodied up.
oh man,
He's jacked.
He is?
jacked.
Jacked.
That's some good creatine.
Good
man.
luck.
I was gonna say it's good creatine.
Good
Yeah.
It's a division
Well, that's the
where
acai in Brazil.
Bring him
I
up.
hear.
Bring
It's
him
the
up.
acai in Brazil.
What is
He
interesting
looks in
about
phenomenal shape,
Dude,
man.
look at him.
what? Oh, that's. I got to get on some of those supplements. He looks fantastic. That's nuts, by the way. That's nuts.
Verdum's a big boy
What's
too.
interesting about bare knuckle is it does seem like if you can use your head as a weapon to break somebody's hands.
Yeah,
You know what I
right?
mean? It
You
just almost
like,
favors
duck
a
right into
brawler.
him.
And that's why Mike Perry excels in that, because obviously when he fought Luke Rockhold or even Michael Venom Page,
Yeah.
those guys are technically better strikers, but it's just a different.
Well, that check
the
hook wasn't
distance is
working.
different.
Yeah.
Like Mike Perry just makes it ugly. And just beats these
Ugly.
dudes.
And
man.
then
Yeah.
that little clinch, hold and release, and then he's adapted to the style very,
Yeah,
very
and the
well.
distance completely different. I'm curious with JDS Verdum. I've been in training room with Verdum. Like he's a motherfucker.
Yeah,
like that dude plays. Yeah, he's a dog. To your point, he's a dog.
And he's good in every area. He's good at wrestling, good at striking, great at jiu-jitsu if he's on top or bottom.
Damn, JDS looking jacked too.
JDS
What is
too,
going
though.
on with this acai in Brazil?
Good acai,
You
bro.
know?
Come on.
And I've had the pleasure to, obviously he's an American top team. I've had the pleasure of watching him do some live sparring.
He's looking good.
And I could say this is gonna be a fucking phenomenal fight. You know, he's been working with this guy a lot right here.
Who's that monster?
This guy's killing people in the PFL. They're trying to line him up with
Francis.
Yeah.
Oof.
I don't think he's gonna be up at the final soon, but yeah, this guy's hurting people.
And how hard was it to get those two to agree? Did they come to you? Like, how's it work? Do you reach out to people, or do they come to you guys?
In JDS's situation, and I almost gotta apologize to him because I've been hounding him for 2 years. I see him in the locker room. When you gonna fight for me, man? Come on, stop bullshitting. He's like, man, Masvidal, I'm with this company right now. When I become a free agent next week, I'm like, yo, what's up, bro? Look, I got some open space. Let's get you in there. Man, I got this, I got that coming up, blah, blah, blah. So it took like 2 years, and he came up to me the other day and he goes, hey, I'm free. I'm a free agent. Let me know if anything comes up. And I was like, holy smokes. So I called this dude up, and on the day that I'm telling him, I'm like, guess who's a free agent and is interested in doing bare knuckle? And he's like, is it a heavyweight? And I go, yeah, it's a heavyweight. Junior Dos Santos. And he tells me, he goes, guess who I just got off the phone with? Their manager. And is also a free agent and is ecstatic about doing bare knuckle. This is on the same day. And I've been trying to talk to JDS for like 2 years, but I hadn't really told him because it wasn't concrete, you know? And he tells me like right then and there, Fabricio Verdum wants to fight for us, bare knuckle. I was like,
Dude.
the stars are so aligned.
Dude, what a great
The
fight.
stars
tuning
are
in
so
for that.
aligned.
What a great freaking
Now, you got other
fight.
people on that card too, right?
You
Yeah.
have Hen and Brow.
We got-
Is Brow in there?
No, Barral. Yeah, we had some visa issues. We couldn't get Barral in there, but we wanted to get Barral in there.
I've been sick.
At 145 bare knuckle.
How hard is it to get guys to commit to the bare knuckle? And especially because you're dealing with like free agents, right? It's always a little dicey.
Yeah, it's a little dicey. That's a great word, dicey. And not every fighter in MMA is made or meant to be in bare knuckle. It's just different.
It's just
you know?
different, yeah.
The bullets are flying both ways. You know, like you said, you could easily hurt your hand, but you could also easily break somebody's fucking eye open.
Dude,
Now they're fighting with one eye the whole fight.
I know
you
it's a different BKFC, but Luke Rockhold broke his fucking teeth off. Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Like that's why he stopped. He's like, "What the fuck am
I
I
don't wanna do
doing? I
this
broke my
anymore."
tooth."
Yeah, and then easily if they broke your tooth, you get a nerve slice in your hand as well. You know, so it's just a different sport. Also, the submissions go up. That's why a lot of grapplers are starting to be more and more into it because you don't have these gloves now, so these hands sneak in there faster in tighter places, and you could pull off submissions. So submissions and the finishes just go through the roof.
Hold up, your things you can strike and submit.
It's MMA.
Oh, wait a
Oh,
minute.
Verdum's gonna win.
Hold, please.
Oh, Verdum's gonna
Hold
strangle
on.
JD.
So this is MMA. So kicking.
Oh, you guys
submission.
didn't know?
I didn't know that.
No,
MMA.
dude.
Hold
You
on.
didn't tell us this.
Hold on. No gloves.
Why would I?
Oh,
No,
Verdum's gonna
MMA. This is the
fucking
original shit,
dominate. Verdum's gonna dominate, dude.
Now hold on, sir.
No, you don't remember JDS could wrestle.
Oh, I
man.
remember. He's a savage,
Yes,
and he can box his ass off. His
Defensively,
footwork-
he's a pretty cream of the crop. At one point, he would the only guy that would fend off Kane in his prime.
That's
was-
true.
was
But
JDS.
this is a different
I'm sorry,
consideration.
if Verdum gets an underhook and pulls guard and there's no gloves,
That's what I'm saying.
trouble for all.
Why is that?
That's why grapplers love
because
that.
without
He's
gloves
so good.
at jiu-jitsu.
That's his
But
language.
why would it make a difference without the gloves? It just
You don't have the
because-
bulky gloves, the
Yeah.
the
You
can
grip,
get 'em in
the
there.
submissions.
Yeah.
Ooh.
A lot changes with even like your own grip strength. You got the tape, the gauze to protect your hands.
it's a
And
mitt.
the more you have of that, it kind of constricts your hand. And then on top of it, you have the glove. Now, a lot of people usually train like that, so they get used to it. But still, it's like it limits you in the grappling, and it limits. One big one is when you take somebody's back. If they have the glove, I could like do this,
Correct.
and like
You
bring
can
the
hand
hand,
fight.
you know, hand fight a
hand
little
fight,
bit
yeah.
easier for the defensive guy. Now, if you don't have the gloves, these hands become a problem, and they get real sneaky and slippery. And then right here, and once the hand
I
is like
didn't
back here,
know this, dude.
it's game over.
So Rogan's been talking about this forever. He's been saying, I think we should have no gloves because people will start to learn how to punch differently. It'll take in other considerations. I think you're going to see a lot less, I would imagine, punching. That's a big thing. Every time you throw your hand in a fight like that, especially in the early rounds, that's a big gamble.
Yeah.
You might hit the top of somebody's head. You know, it can be elbows more.
It depends on the guy.
It
too.
depends on the
Like,
guy,
Mike
but
Perry
at
was
the same
born-
time,
Yeah.
At the same time, some guys just have like mutated hands that nothing's gonna happen to them, and when they touch your face, they're gonna break your face. You know, I see a lot of like eyes getting shut. You know, because it's just like it's to me personally, it's worth the risk for shutting your eye.
Your
closed,
insurance can't be fun. The doctor's like,
we gotta,
You gotta
How did you get this past the
commission?
Yeah. This is a huge accomplishment.
It was a lot of work. It was a lot of work. One of the first ones was Mississippi, so shout out to them. We had about 3 shows there. During then, we were applying in Florida and trying to make it legalized in Florida, and then finally happened. So when we threw the first sanctioned bare knuckle show in Florida, and from there we're just gonna keep it moving. Louisiana just got legalized in Louisiana. Sick. Hopefully Arizona soon as well. Denver, it's legal now, so we'll be going to Denver in December. And
when did you decide you wanted to be a fight promoter, like have a fight league?
Well, about maybe our first show was about 3 years ago that we threw, and then it was more experimental phase. You know, like I got ideas. He already had a set motion and plan. I had been to numerous of his shows, Island Fighting Championships, and he had maybe, I don't know, at that time, 70 shows you had already done by then. So he had like the infrastructure of it. I had my way and what I thought would do well for promoting. So we got together and we were just throwing concepts up, doing the stuff, and one thing led to another. The shows kept getting bigger. Our first 2 shows actually for Bare Knuckle in Mississippi completely sold out. The first venue was like 2,500 people. The next venue was like 3,800 people. We sold both of them out. Also, it was right after the Corona pandemic, so there was nothing to do. You know? So we went to Mississippi with bare knuckle fights. Everybody's like, where do I get a ticket? So we sold out, and that was like very confident boosting for us. You know, we barely did any work for what we got in return. So we're like, I like this, you know.
I think your benefit too is like all the fighters, like any UFC alumni, everybody fucks with you. Like you're a good dude.
Yeah. For
then
the
obviously,
most part, I get along with everybody.
For the most part, I mean, maybe Ben Askren and Colby, but outside that,
even then.
But those are just bitches. Ain't nobody trying to be their friends in real life. Those guys are just bitches, man.
But recently you talked about fighting Ben Askren, or did
it's just a joke and a pun, really.
But did he started it, right? Because he showed a picture of him like in shape.
No. Even before that, he put I had just seen the comment. Or my homie, where is he? There he is back there. How he goes,
so
hey, look at that. Yeah, just blasted over.
He looks like Towley from South Park.
Couldn't be higher.
I'm so hot right now, man. I'm so hot right now.
I've been looking at his eyes, and he's literally, I've never seen anybody higher.
That dude's seen.
That's that California.
Jesus Christ right now, man.
That's that California shit, man.
Yeah, the weed out here is different,
got him
man.
in cloud 9. What were we saying?
About Ben.
Oh yeah,
I personally like Ben a lot because I think Ben is a lot sillier than people give him credit for,
way sillier
and smarter. He's funny and silly.
Yeah, he could be I don't know, irritating to me, you know, or to like a lot of fighters. But I get where he is, like witty stuff. You know, he could definitely sell a fight. Yeah. He put out something like, I don't need to come out of retirement. I told Dana White for Jorge, this loser, and I see that and I go, bro, this guy's fucking tweaking or something. What's wrong with you?
Your reply was great, dude.
You're an
but
idiot,
you also have
bro.
the ultimate Trump card. Like,
yeah.
He just put a picture of, him, Ben like flatline. He's like, this fool's still talking? He's alive. This fool's alive.
And then out of fun, I was just thinking, like, if I would, because I don't want to do it. As I said earlier, I only want to fight the best in the world. You're not the best in the world, Ben. Sorry. I could say that because I've been in there with you. You're nowhere near the best in the world. But if you wanted to do boxing, because there's no knees allowed in boxing, right?
But I'd have to call Ben because I care about Ben, and I'd say, Ben, don't box Jorge Masvidal. I love
but
Ben
there's no
Askren.
But think about it. There's
Don't
no
be a hater,
knees involved.
Brian.
No, I don't want Ben boxing Jorge Masvidal.
Trying to get
Jorge
no
Masvidal is very good at boxing.
If I was to even attempt a knee, it's illegal. I'd get disqualified. So at least he has 5
He
seconds.
doesn't have to worry about the
Jorge.
knee.
No.
Let's just put all the emphasis on
Absolutely
there's no
fucking
knees.
not. No, dude.
No knees.
I don't care, dude. Nobody wants your hands either. That's a disaster. Ben's a
Ben
great
wants his
wrestler.
hands.
He doesn't want your hands.
I would want to challenge
here's my
Ben.
question.
I would challenge Ben on boxing and then challenge Ben on wrestling, like a 5-minute wrestling match. You think he'd be down for that?
I think
That's
he's
the
down.
move. I think you'd be open to that.
the wrestling,
Dean's
yes.
into it. I'm into it. We'll hit up Ben after this.
We'll do a boxing match, get
First,
paid
you're
there.
gonna do the boxing match
First, you're
first.
gonna do the boxing match, get paid there,
The
make
fix
money.
is in. Ben, don't say no. Ben's doing frisbee golf and loving his life and killing it.
Ben called him out.
I'm not the one that
Ben
called me
wants-
out.
I know.
Ben wants to do it.
He's broken. He needs money. Okay, step in the boxing ring.
Ben wants to do it. But I think
we'll get him the co-main event of some major boxing fight. We'll boost those pay-per-views. Sell a bunch of fucking pay-per-views.
Make some money.
I'll let you live to like the second round so people don't say, you took him out too soon. And then the second round, I'll execute you via body shots.
Boom. I like it, dude. I think it works out for everybody.
He can't help himself. Look at Jorge.
Well,
now I'm excited. Now you're getting me excited. Now I love Ben.
But did you expect Ben to get starched like you did? No, and that's no disrespect to Ben. Do you expect him to get starched against Jake Paul like you
100%.
did?
I was calling it. I was calling it before the thing. The only way I was saying he could win was if he would have fucking wrestle fucked him.
Yeah.
And you can't wrestle in boxing.
Yeah.
So, but as I'm sure you've seen and know, Ben in many interviews, this is something why I don't like him as a person, as a character, has disrespected the sport of MMA, saying, no, I don't do pads, I don't do striking, I don't do sparring, I just wrestle.
Yeah.
No, I just wrestle. And his sparring is and then wrestling, and then wrestling and wrestling. So he doesn't need any of these aspects, right? Well, now you can't continue to make money off him because you never respected these aspects, and you need that in MMA. You need to be a boxer. You need to be a kickboxer. I wasn't looking forward to crotch sniffing anybody, but I spent most of my time training, learning how to defend that and how to stop that.
Look at Bo Nickel.
Bo Nickel
would go in there and just wrestle you all fucking day, but he's knocking cats out.
Mm-hmm. You got to respect the sport, and he never did. That's why I would love to get him in a boxing match.
Where'd you get your discipline, man? Because here's what I find fascinating about you. I've been watching you since you started. And the one thing that guys like me loved about you is that you were as close to a human pit bull as a guy. You were game bred. You loved fighting. You'd see a guy like you and you'd be like, that guy would fight you on the street. He'll fight you in a hair salon. He'll fight you now.
Well, you saw him in the backyard with Kimbo.
You just see it.
Yeah. Where were you, like
and
14
so
or
that's
older.
No,
where you were like 8?
17.
You were 8?
May as well be.
18. I'm sorry, I thought you said 8.
He came out of the womb swinging.
Yeah.
But you see that spirit in someone. And a lot of times that's married with a certain form of self-destructiveness or a certain form of dysfunctionality. And so you end up loving them, but they kind of punch themselves into oblivion. Something happens. It doesn't end well typically, but you have love in your heart for them. You're one of the few people that I have that what I find fascinating is not only did you make it the top of the game in MMA, you also were able to manage media in a certain way. You were also able to kind of like be a personality. And then you knew exactly when to retire and get into this other thing. So there's
the question, bro.
There's all this discipline, and there's all this discipline, this mindset that's very rare I see in fighters, because you go from pure fighter, to businessman now, to all these other things. So when do you think that was something you were born with, or is that something you developed? Because does it surprise you that you're here doing this shit?
Combination. Definitely nature and nurture, and being born with certain things, and then through society, through my upbringing, sharpening those.
What was that upbringing
tools.
though? Like who? Who taught you that shit?
Like, I'm very adaptable, and that's since a kid I moved around a lot. I was always, for a long time, I was like the new kid in school, in a different country since a young age. Then I came back to America. I lived in Peru for like 4 years, from 4 to 9 years old. So then I came back to America, no English. I don't speak in English till I'm 12 years old. I talking like this every time. And then maybe like 13, I started talking a little better. So imagine, that was like more problems, fights in school, things like that, and shit, I learned a lot, like, during that time,
How to adapt.
And right around then, like, I fell in love with the sport of boxing when I was like 7, 8 years old. That's the first time I discovered boxing. Then MMA, I discovered it when I was like 11, 12 years old. And I was like, this is what I want to do, And I already knew, because I had enough fights moving around growing up, that I was gifted with like the hands, just defending myself, I knew that I was pretty good at it.
You could see openings.
Yeah. So I would go to the gym, and I could immediately, like, somebody been training like 2 years, if it was like boxing, or 3 years, I could like hang with him. I could do very well. Now, I didn't have the endurance because I was so like new to the game, and that I would lose after like 2 rounds of sparring in the beginning, and then I would talk to the coaches like, how do you not get tired? This is the craziest shit. And that's where I learned discipline, It's like, these guys run. You just started this thing, but these guys are like running in the morning, hitting the bag, doing all these things, And then slowly but surely, I started dialing into that, and I realized, like, discipline is almost everything. Because as many gifts as I have, if I get tired, if the Ferrari runs out of gas, the Honda Civic's going to get there first.
Correct.
So that's probably what gave me any of the discipline that I have in life comes just from combat, 'Cause you know how it is. Like, if you go out Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, and then Monday morning comes,
Nah, man.
Maybe you're the super athlete that could get away with it, and you beat, because that was me for a long time. I was doing things wrong, and I could beat everybody in the room, and that's amazing and all, but that wasn't the best version of me.
It catches up with
you know, and it catches up
And
to
you're
you.
going
And
to
that's also
run
not
into a
the
guy with your talent who doesn't do that.
You know. So I think the sport of combat is like the greatest for instant gratification and also like humbling you. You know, like if you in just like 3-4 weeks you could change the course of your life, and like MMA and really dial in, getting
It also
rest,
changed
sleeping.
so much when you were in the game. Like when you started versus where you ended, the game evolved.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Crazy, right?
Insane.
I had a crazy mutation. Especially, I actually fast forward during Corona, like right before Corona, during and right after.
Nuts.
It's like the sport went 5x. you
Yeah,
know?
why was that? Because Russians were coming in, people from all over the world.
No,
sharing
they've
their
been there. I
secrets.
think also shout out to Dana. Like he kept the sport going when every other major sport shut down. They went, "We're not doing that. I'm going to figure something out." So he went to the Middle East. He's in Abu Dhabi, still put on the fight. So it's the only big sport putting on. So I think a lot of new fans gravitated towards it. And they have stars like Masvidal. They have Conor doing his thing. So it's just like this perfect storm of talent, entertainment, and then they kept going. They just kept going.
The first event back to full capacity was the UFC Jacksonville, when me and Usman fought for the belt the second time. That was the first time in the States since Corona that you could have full capacity. And that was thanks to Ron DeSantis, you know, and Dana White, and they were able to pull that off. So that, I think, right there also launched the sport to like another front seat again, you know, because we were constantly getting showed that the fights, remember, were happening at the Apex.
Yeah.
They had all the guys with the ET suits shoving fucking bamboo sticks up your nose, and it was fucking bananas,
It's a
bro.
nightmare.
It was a nightmare.
So I just think people respect it, and you got a lot of new fans with that.
Yep.
And they keep it going.
Crazy
and
amount of
UFC
fans
is
came
great. I don't know anybody watch UFC and just like, not for me.
No.
Like some soy boys might be like, it's too violent. Okay, not for you. But in general, America loves it.
I was just thinking about you and Connor, what that would have been like.
Well, it could still go down though.
That dude's
retired.
Yeah, man. That dude.
Who's retired?
It's just fucking-
Him?
I'm
no.
retired, but
He'd come out of retirement.
He
right?
fights as much as Conor does because you know.
you're right. You know, but the thing is, that guy's pissing hot, clearly on steroids, cheating, and then you're calling out guys like Justin and Dustin and this and that. Like, man, you can't even respect the process. You're so fucking lost. You're such a fucking idiot. The money and the cocaine has gotten to you that you forgot the simple rules that even made you. Like, you have to go and get on a fucking drug program and not do steroids. You fucking cheater.
That's
And
the
you
curse
couldn't
of
even
his
do that.
success, right?
You couldn't even do that. You didn't want to fucking show up and piss on that cup because you were going to piss hot. And then you're calling out these fighters like, bro, it's so past you, bro. But I think he's such a bum that I would sign a waiver. Like, you could fight me on steroids.
Yeah.
You could
don't-
do
you
whatever
don't
you
give a
want.
shit.
Yeah, for him.
But I feel like you could do it on even with your rules on Gamebred. Like
No, because we're both signed to the UFC still. We're both athletes of the UFC. That you know how it is. I'm just retired, not like released.
It's
not like, nah, you don't
UFC
get-
does.
this is not the-
they freeze your contract.
Yeah.
So even like when I retired, I still had, I think, maybe one fight left on my deal. They're like, cool, but if you ever decide to do anything, we own. You still owe us one more fight,
Yeah.
even though if you're done.
Damn. How about
It's
you?
not like you get a get out of free jail
No.
card. Like, oh, new contract.
I bet you could talk
No.
to Dana though.
You know Dana well enough.
Yeah, I know Dana very well
Trump call.
and stuff, but they wouldn't let us fight on a different league or nothing.
If
That
it's
I know
Conor,
for
you're
a fact.
gonna run some issues. But I bet you could talk to him, and maybe not Conor, but somebody else.
How
I
many
bet
fights
he'd
do you
let
have on your contract left?
I think I'm gonna say 3, so they got
on.
me.
That's forever.
Yeah,
that'd be forever.
pretty-
They
no,
own
pretty
you
much.
forever.
Pretty
I have
much.
one, and
You know, and
I'm in their debt forever.
You get in there with me and a couple other guys just real quick. Just do it, choke us out real quick, and then just be like, I'm done now. And I'm
You know, Conor would be the one. He's like, nah, man. But I would be willing to bet you're going to get Conor versus like a Jake, especially if Jake wins on Saturday, which I want your thoughts on.
Yeah, I want your thoughts on that.
If Jake were to win that fight and beat Nate, I can see Conor making that happen. You know?
the boxing match.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they could make that happen. You know, and shit. As much as I never would have thought this would have happened, Jake might beat him now because Connor's like a
Isn't that
different
crazy,
guy,
dog?
bro.
Isn't that crazy? We're talking
is
about that?
Fucking, Jake is out there training, not doing drugs, not being part of that fucking vicious lifestyle. This guy's like, can't keep himself from getting in trouble.
You think Jake beats? How do you think Jake and Nate goes down on Saturday?
I think it all depends on Nate. How close is Nate to his prime? You know,
That's
'Cause
exactly
Nate in
what
his
I thought.
prime
Yeah.
obviously
All day.
beats Jake. You know, but I don't know. He's older. He's coming into a new sport. Jake's been having the ball roll, you know. And he didn't look phenomenal in the Tyson fight, but he did prove on a technical point. I thought that he got better as a fighter. It didn't go his way and stuff. And in a feel on both sides, it could have been
with Tommy Fury,
with Tommy Fury, yeah. I feel they both on both sides. It could have been way more aggressive. It was too much of a staring match. But when he did decide to throw, his technique has gotten better, and some of the feints and stuff. I would say that maybe Jake. I'm leaning towards Jake. I want Nate to win because he's my MMA brother, you know.
Correct. UFC alumni. I usually stick with him.
Yeah, exactly.
The only thing, my thing is with that is how serious is Nate taking it? Because if Nate goes, hey, he's just a Disney YouTuber, he's gonna get fucked up.
I think
now,
so.
If Nate's trained like he did to get when he's preparing for you, Jake could be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
But for Jake, it's all in those early rounds. He's younger, he's faster, more explosive.
Yeah.
But if Nate can eat the shots and apply pressure and just volume, he's gonna melt Jake.
Yeah. Well, if it goes after 4, now it starts, I think, dramatically switch towards Nate's realm and his type of real estate. Now he's going to start,
That's why I'm saying
4.
first 3.
Yeah,
first 3, if Jake's
Yeah.
having success, it could be a good night in the office for Jake and his fan base. If he's not doing well in those first early rounds and can't hit him, it's going to be trouble. Nate's going to fucking melt him. But also, Nate gets hit.
A lot.
And Jake can crack. Don't get twisted.
Crack.
Jake can crack.
I think it's a big accomplishment on Jake's
For where
part
he's
that
at.
you're taking.
Don't get for where he's at in his level, he can crack.
Like, could he crack enough to get a prime Nate out of there? No, but this
No, he
Nate,
could.
I don't know. Maybe now, yeah. You know, he doesn't. I don't know. He doesn't seem.
Here's the question: if Jake loses, where's he go? I think like the big names, like the Conor fight's gone, the Nick Diaz fight's gone. Like him fighting like legit MMA or boxing guys, those days are done. I think he'll fight like a KSI, like he'll go the YouTube route. Because I think him getting like legit fighters can be tough. If he gets starched by Nate, guys are like, we're good.
Always, a guy that has such a fan base, just like Conor and stuff. I think they could always just fight some taxi cab drivers.
Yeah,
they'll get a highlight out of them, and then eventually they'll get to fight another fighter or ex-UFC fighter, you know. Like a guy like Jake, it just depends how long he wants to be around. Even him losing this fight, I know what you're saying, it would definitely set him back, but nothing that he couldn't fix in like 2-3 fights. You know?
It's weird too, because I don't know if you saw, like Nate and him were sitting down with Ariel and Nate just walks off. Like,
I've seen that.
He's not promoting the fight.
He's not.
He's just like, and Jake's like being
Best
cool.
promoter.
Nate's like, buy it or don't, I don't care.
Why is
walks
that?
off.
Why? He doesn't.
It's very on brand for Nate.
Yeah.
Like his way of promoting is not promoting, right? He's too cool for
Well, I also think Nate's
he's a
kind
street
of
guy.
Yeah.
Nate's still kind of like is a purist. Like he doesn't like that he's fighting somebody who hasn't had as many fights.
Well, then don't take the fight though. But if you're gonna agree to take
so
the
much money,
fight,
so
like
much
you gotta play the game.
They would do that in the UFC as
That's
well.
what I'm saying. It's
They
very
had-
like
they were
it's
known
his
to
way
miss
of marketing,
interviews,
but
you know?
not marketing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's very strange.
It is. It's Nate. It's
I'm
brand
curious
for Nate.
how it does pay-per-view wise.
What do you think? Over 100,000 or under?
Over 100,000. I bet they're in the ballpark of 150 to 200.
It's a solid guess.
But mainly because I just don't hear about it as much as I should be. I'm not hearing about this fight as much. It's just not
What
in
do you
my
think?
face.
Same numbers?
So I would say lower than people expect.
Lower? Under 100,000 buys?
That'd be a disaster.
That'd be you
No,
wouldn't.
I don't think. No, I think they've got pull. No,
Yeah.
more than that.
But-
I'm going to watch it.
But
for sure.
I think Jake's problem. You'll be on stage, but I think Jake's problem is his young fan base. They just steal the stream. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not buying
Yeah.
the stream.
Really?
Like
Is that what happens a
Oh,
lot?
a ton of it. So if you add in illegal streaming, it's doing over 1 million, but they can't control it. Like Dana can control it. It's a business. The fan base, some of it's younger, but in general, people know that money might go to the fighters. They're just going to help people out. Jake's fan base is young.
They're
man.
jacking it, huh?
Yeah, they're jacking it.
Russian hackers on Playboy.
Nah,
They'll wipe
bro.
you out.
Nah, man. But you know
That's
how it
a
is.
real
Like that
thing.
pay-per-view model's tough, bro.
Hell yeah. No, it's and especially if you're on pay-per-view. We've had a couple events with them. They're getting 45% right off rip. You know,
Really?
You saw 1 million pay-per-views. They're gonna get 45%. You get 55%. Now they have access to like I forget 88 million homes, something like that.
Right.
That you could advertise to. You know.
How did Jake's first couple fights do?
Like against Woodley and Ben.
Yeah, just like-
you never really know, but
Some of the numbers came out for Woodley. They weren't weren't crazy.
But like Chael says this, like even like we never know. Like there's no committee that's like, yep, that's real. Like when they tell you Conor Floyd did whatever they said it was, 1.5 or 2 million pay-per-views. Chael's like, that's not real.
Really?
Like Manny Floyd, like they're saying biggest pay-per-view all time. Chael's like, no, that's not real. Like none of those numbers are real.
Why?
Because there's no committee.
Okay.
Saying, like you can't see our audio numbers. We can see YouTube numbers. If we're saying we got 10 million, downloads on YouTube, people can see it. There's no committee.
But somebody's making a lot of money. I mean, the real question is, what kind of check are they both seeing at the end of the day? That would tell you a lot.
Well, people are fighting Jake because they're getting paid.
Yeah.
So that means,
I heard it wasn't nowhere near that 500.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I see that it's
Exactly.
crazy.
You don't know.
That's
crazy stuff.
Wikipedia. And that's the first one too.
How are you feeling about like Leon Edwards is having kind of resurgence? Like he's like people are finally appreciating him.
He's technically good, man. He's getting more aggressive, which is, I think, something the public probably didn't really care for him.
Yeah.
That he would sit back too much and not bring the action. Like as a fighter, you're a martial artist, but you're also an entertainer.
Correct.
I mean, you can't complain if people ain't tuning in because you're just, which is not Leon's case. He's usually not. Well, he used to be a bit of a crotch sniffer. He went on that streak. But if you're a crotch sniffer and
I
you're
don't understand
fucking
crotch sniffer means wrestler.
No, not wrestler. Means because there's a lot of, I like watching Khabib fight personally, because if he takes you down, he's gonna fucking punch your face in, and I want to see that. Or he's gonna try to submit you, or if he's on the feet, he's throwing big bombs to close the gap and then try to finish the fight. When a guy's just getting into a lot of stop positions, or just like wrestling, and he's content to be in the guard, he's not doing any damage, and he's just like wrestling, you're doing everything possible in your power just to like not fight and just
Playing it safe.
And it's not really like a fight. I want to see a fight. Obviously, it's entertainment, and it's also win. You got to be a martial artist.
He's getting his flowers now, I feel like, a little bit.
Definitely.
He gets his flowers now. He never got that 2-piece on a soda, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he got the 3-piece on the soda. I gave him the 3-piece. And shit, if you want to, like, I hear him doing these little interviews and shit. If he wants to spar for some money, we can like stream it somewhere. I'll fucking
That'd
go
be
wherever
dope.
the fuck you want.
Yeah.
And we go hard for like 3 rounds. Because
by
I'm
the
a
way-
retired dad, I'm not going to do 5 rounds, but I'll do 3 rounds with your ass. And
You're
break
you're
your
hilarious.
face.
He goes, I'm a retired dad.
I'm a retired dad. Now I'll break your face. I'm a
Break
retired
for
dad.
3
If you
rounds.
wanna
3
fight me,
rounds.
I'll
But 5
fight you.
rounds right now, that's an actual camp. But 3 rounds, I always got.
What are you wearing right now? No bullshit. Be honest, because you came
Right
in
now, what am I wearing?
Looking thick, and I mean muscular.
Right now,
I don't mean fat. You look strong.
Right now, I'm weighing about 2 sexy. You hear me?
Too sexy. That's where I'm at, too, dog.
I looked at him. I was like, "What the fuck? How the fuck did you get down to 155? It's so insane that you would get that. He'd get down to 74. It'd be impossible. And then you'd have to
170?
suck from
Yeah.
there.
Oh my gosh. No.
55 for you.
55 was a nightmare for me.
Just
That
walking
was-
in all
Bro,
juicy,
I don't know how
all
the fuck
juicy
you
right
did it.
now, and it's pink.
At 20, right around 24, 25, my body started changing more. I started gaining more weight. So I went from like, I used to walk around 175 to like 184. And then I would like 180 to 184 was my walk around weight. And then from there I'd cut down to 72 and then pray to God and do the 18, 19
God,
pounds of
dog.
water to
Right?
get to 55.
Right? That's a
Insane.
lot of fun.
It was
That's
tough.
a barrel
It
of
was
laughs when you're just dehydrating yourself to that level.
It sucked, And then my last like 3 fights, I noticed like, man, I'm fucking doing amazing in the gym. But when it comes to fight day, like my fists ain't flying the same. Like I'm
Drained.
drained. And then you saw that happen to come in right at that time, and
Haters.
they took off IVs. So
Which
I was
is
like,
ridiculous.
I can't. I'll never make the weight now. I'm gone. So I came up to 70, which was like the best thing for me in my life,
Hell yeah. it
Maybe I
was.
should have came in maybe like a year or 2 before
Yeah.
into 70 and just try to fill out, But shit, I always thought I was like a little bit small for like a 70-pounder
Yeah.
at that time.
It worked out for you, though.
Yeah, it
My
worked out.
God, did it work out for you. As far as, and I know you got it rolling pretty soon here, as far as the next BMF title, which you're clearly involved with now, who do you see it going down with?
I have no idea.
Right?
I think they'll just
like you
hold
look
it
at the
off.
you look at the lay of the land. It's tough.
Yeah. And there's a lot of interesting matchups. I personally would like to see my boy Dustin again fucking fight for, man, there's so many badass.
Because you could do
Sucks
Justin
Jamal
Dustin
Hill now
again.
got hurt,
I know Jamal Hill.
Yeah.
Who do you think solves that Makachev wrestling problem?
Islam, huh? Gaethje's not a bad defensive wrestler. He's pretty fucking damn good defensive wrestling.
All American
All-American, and he could wrestle. It could easily be Gaethje. You know, he's got the power to do it. I could see Gaethje, if he has a good night, he could definitely stop.
How does he stop that? That's because you saw what.
And definitely
Khabib put him down on his back pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Right. So that's. I think Makhachev would probably have the same kind of.
They're a little different though.
Yeah,
Makhachev's not as good as Khabib.
He doesn't have the. I don't think he has the power or quite the writing ability of Khabib either. Khabib is
look at the Volkanovski fight.
Now Volkanovski's I think a guy that could definitely beat Islam.
Volkanovski.
I would bet money on.
They did deal with this.
And he took him down.
Yeah, I would bet money on Volk. I think Volk, for my money, Volk is number one right now. Pound
Me too.
for pound. So
100%.
I could see him beating all these guys.
Dude, you know what the next BMF title should be? And I don't know how it works. I don't know if you
Volk
can.
versus.
Well, that would be great, but if you can jump around weight classes, Yuri versus Alex Pereira for BMF is filthy, bro.
Wow,
Take my
that
money,
is a
Jorge.
legit BMF
Right?
fucking title right there.
That should be it.
How is Jiri? Is he back already?
Yeah, he's training. He's
training.
And
Have they given a date for when his?
they haven't given a date, but Mick Maynard
Jiri Pereira, bro.
Yuri versus Alex Pereira. They said
That's
the fight
matchmaking, bro.
for the light heavyweight title.
Let's continue some more great matchmaking.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
I heard you're making your debut on my promotion.
Yes.
Who you want,
Yes.
bro? Who you want, man?
Yes.
I got my matchmaker right
Yes.
there. Who you want? I'll
Probably
go get him,
me,
bro.
probably me. We'll just
Bare
move
knuckle.
around.
Who do you want, man?
Bro,
Come on, if you had to.
I don't know if bare knuckle is for me.
It'd be the. You would hate that so much. I can just see you being like, I got to fight Bear.
But you know what it is for me? Money.
It's money.
Yeah.
Now
I don't know.
You know what?
talk to
Listen to
you.
me. This is a real thing.
What's the real thing?
I'll be in your corner. I'm there for you.
That's
Now
gonna help.
listen,
That's gonna help me win.
It'll help. Listen, with my fucking silver tongue
That's
in
true.
your ear, and
No.
you're like, I can't do it. I'm like, you got this, bro. You got this.
No, you need to distract my opponent. The free agents, I'm sure as fuck not fighting Verdum or JDS, bro.
No.
You can
let's
keep
hold on,
that,
let's
dude.
find
I heard
somebody.
Derek
Let's find
Lewis is a
somebody.
free agent too.
Oh, that's right.
Let's find
but
somebody
you,
for him
but
to
you
fight.
allow grappling and everything.
Yeah, it's MMA.
Come on, bro.
It's MMA. You.
I
pick.
wouldn't say no to Derek Lewis if I can grapple.
Ooh.
Way.
What
Right.
the
See,
fuck?
Derek Lewis debut in my promotion versus Brandon Schaub.
Come on, man. You know how many people would?
Hey,
Do you
Derek
understand that people's heads are just fucking
Are you
exploding?
bro?
Hey, hold on.
My head's exploding.
I know, but Derek Lewis, bare knuckle.
That's a disaster.
That guy hit you?
I'm terrified.
Yeah.
I'm terrified. But listen,
I'm gonna turn into Ben Askren.
you have me.
I'm
Look-
just gonna.
No. Look in my eyes. When you're feeling scared,
You
you
have
look in my
to,
eyes.
bro.
I give you
Ben-
strength. I give
man.
you strength. Look in my eyes. There you go. Go get him.
With your help, I think
Derek.
I can do it.
Look at the intensity.
Derek hits hard,
Bro,
man.
he hits
Oh
hard.
my
And those
God.
Double
knuckles-
leg. Die for a double. Blast
those-
double.
those
guard.
knuckles, his hands just look like they're already like mutated into something else, and I look like that'll hurt, man.
Best
We were in
knockout
the
artist
elevator with
UFC.
him before anybody knew him. I don't know if you remember this.
He called me out
Vegas.
after he knocked somebody out. I was like at Dave and Buster's. I'm watching the fight. Like, who do you want next? He said, I'd love to fight Brendan Shaw. I was like, and I was,
I gotta do a
I just beat
podcast.
LeVar Johnson. I was like, fuck, man.
remember
It
we-
ruined my night.
Well, we were in the
I was like
elevator.
eating
and
chicken wings and like queso.
But
I'm like,
we were in the elevator, and I looked at him, and I started talking to him. I was like, "You fucking giant." And he said, "Yeah, you'll hear about me pretty soon." I remember he said he was in the OC.
Yeah, he's
and
a
I don't
good
think
dude.
either one of us had ever seen him.
No, I didn't.
But
Until he knocked that
B,
dude out.
this is I'm actually liking.
But
this
we don't have
idea.
to start with Derek Lewis first. We go.
He's the one who said it.
Yeah, we get.
No,
to,
I didn't say he said.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he said
All
Derek
right, give
was
it
a free
somebody
agent.
a little easier.
Well, he was saying free agent, so I said.
Yeah, I said
Derek's
what free
a free
agents were out
agent.
there.
Damn.
No, we got.
Is there another comedian
I'm
I
actually
could fight?
Yeah, that's it.
Is there another comedian?
No. Bro.
Louis C.K.? What's he going for?
Nobody's going to fight you in the comedy world. I'd be the only one who would get in there with you, and it'd be a bad situation for me.
I think I
who
got
do we
one
got?
friend
Come on
comedian.
with somebody else.
I got one friend comedian. I'm gonna ask.
Tim Dillon?
Who?
I don't want to fight Tim.
Who are you going to say?
Jerry Seinfeld?
No.
I don't want to fight Tyrone Spong. I've sparred with
Wait,
Tyrone. How
Jorge-
dare you,
Jorge's
dude?
a good
Oh, wait,
matchmaker.
if there's grappling, though.
It'd be at MMA.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm serious right now.
Jeremy Piven. Let's go.
I'm on a show
friend of
tonight
mine.
with Piven.
Piven's
I'm
Oh,
like,
nice
hey,
at the sushi place, right?
no, it's at Laugh Factory tonight.
Okay,
Yeah, I think
okay.
he has 2 sets. I'm
Nice,
with him at
nice.
the
There
Laugh
we go,
Factory.
Jeremy Piven.
I'm going to tell him, like, hey, Jorge's offered us a contract.
How funny! Yeah, you're gonna
That's what I'm going to tell him. I'm like, Jorge wants us to fight, dude.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell him
Then he's
that.
got a contract with your name on.
That's what I'm saying.
It's got to
He's
be,
like, who's the
it's gotta
opponent?
be a heavyweight. It's got to be a heavyweight. And preferably somebody who comes out of retirement as well. Tito Ortiz.
Whoa, we can make that happen.
Yeah,
Whoa,
I'm
it's
saying,
up to
I'm
Tito.
throwing out-
Yeah, what's up, Tito?
Yeah.
I'd fight Tito.
Fight Tito.
Rampage.
Rampage isn't a bad idea.
It's my boy.
No, it's the thing. You got some friends.
Now I'm nervous, man. Hey,
I'm nervous.
Hey, man.
How old are you now?
I am
40.
27 years old.
Yeah.
No, I'm 40, dog.
You're 40.
I'm 40. I'm a dad, dude. I know
So
you're
is
a dad.
Jorge.
Oh, I saw a headline you were saying when you see your son hit mitts.
Yeah,
You want to cry.
Yeah, bro. Fuck.
How old is he?
8 years old.
And he can hit?
Well, I don't want him to be a fighter, right? I don't
Hell
want
no.
him to live that
It's too
life.
tough
You
of
know,
a
I already
kid.
did it for him.
Exactly.
You know, go to school, you know, let's learn about business, go open up businesses. Your dad's got your back. That's my plan, right? But for a while now, he's been asking to like train in martial arts. It's so much the last year and change that he's been asking. He's like, I want to train with your coach, my head striking coach, Paulino Hernandez. He's been asking for some time. Let me train with him. So maybe, I don't know, I'm going to say we started 9 weeks ago. He started training with my coach. We started at 3 sessions a week. Now we're in 15 minutes. Now we're in 30 minutes. And the progression that he's had in that time is fucking insane, bro. It's like
How cool
when
is
you're
it to
born,
see, bro?
He's got his
when
dad's
you're
eye.
born with it, you're just born with it. And what the fuck? And I had left for like 3 days, 4 days to promote. I came back and he was doing like weaving drills and dodging drills, and I was like, holy smokes, bro, this is crazy.
It's nothing cooler. It's the best in the world.
It's crazy,
Yeah.
man. And it's just what God gives you. It's amazing how it works. If we could
Pass it
give
on.
it on to
So
our
dope.
offspring, it's nuts. It's nuts. I also have him in wrestling because it's like he's always wanted to do the striking, so I was like, I'm gonna put him in the wrestling, so he doesn't want to like fight too much of this and that. And he likes the wrestling, and he's all right because he's very quick. But where his gifts lie, just like me, is in like fucking
striking.
hands, bro. Holy smokes.
Nothing better.
Head kicks already, throws 1-2s, fakes, now every day now the new thing is like I want a partner to try the things with. I want a partner. So now he wants to spar already, and I'm like,
You're 8, bro.
if I let him taste that, no, would be usually like a good age to start letting him spar with
For
some
sure.
big gloves,
yeah,
where they
headgear.
couldn't,
Yeah.
they'd just be touching each other, not hurting each other. But I'm afraid he's
He
a
might get
dog and
bitten
he's
by the
gonna bite,
bug.
and then when he bites and he tastes that blood, that's it. That's
You're going to
all
see
he's
a
gonna
video of
want.
him backyard brawling like you
Yeah,
did. At
yeah,
8,
like-
though, just fucking dudes up.
Damn.
So
It's in
yeah,
his blood.
Yeah, it's definitely in the blood. It's crazy. My daughter's very gifted in that aspect, but thank goodness she does not care to fight.
Thank God.
She doesn't want to fight or nothing like that.
She's how old?
14 now. But she got gifted with hand speed and stuff, like above average hand speed,
It's good she has
just
the tools just
yeah,
in
she has the
case,
tools. She has the
someone
tools.
can catch that
and I
three-piece.
had her train jiu-jitsu for about 1.5 years just so she could defend herself.
Yeah.
So every so often I take her back so she just like, it's like riding a bike,
Yeah,
at
tune it
least
up.
like, just
Imagine
remember.
dating Jorge Masvidal's
That's, you gotta
daughter.
mind
It's a
your
little
P's
shows
and
up to
Q's.
the
It's a little
house.
different,
Mind your P's and Q's.
That's my baby girl right there.
Yeah,
That's
man.
all I
They
got.
grow up, dog.
My little man and my daughter is like my family, so my
sure,
everything.
brother.
It's me, my mom, my dad, my kids, and that's pretty much it.
Yep.
Wow.
Nothing better, brother. Well, we're looking forward to your fight. we know you got to get going.
He's got to start training, so I don't know what
Oh my God! Could you imagine
Bro,
this dude? Oh my
can't
God!
imagine.
You might have to start training.
Well, we've been trying to. First, we got to get him to at least commentate one. We've been trying to get him to commentate one.
That's
I'm
a good
down for
call,
that,
too.
100%.
We're gonna get him to commentate.
I'm down to commentate. Let me see
and
the
then in the
vibe.
comments, see the vibe, and then
work
when
on
we
it.
have somebody wins here, and then maybe he gets excited and he goes
That's
in the
all.
ring, and then we have the face
it.
off.
I'll get in this ear, you get in
I'm
the
gonna
other
sit-
ear, and then he's weak. He'll end up going all right.
Okay, so
I'm
everybody
easily peer
watching this
pressured.
show, because everybody's gonna start sending us the messages. You have to be a heavyweight. You have to be retired.
Yep. Schaub's
Coming out of
competitive now.
retired.
Don't get it twisted.
You have
He's
to be coming
competitive.
out of retirement.
He's still got dog in him. He does have
Or
dog in
that
him.
dog never
I
leaves.
mean, I'm telling dick jokes tonight, but yeah.
I know, but you still got. You're the kind of guy though. If you get in, somebody kind of insults you a little bit or messes
Yeah.
with you,
Oh,
you'll
that dog,
go.
you know how it is. That dog
Yeah,
never,
dog,
no
yeah,
matter what.
He'll be like,
Yeah.
we're playing volleyball, and this rather famous comedian female goes, "I thought you're a pro athlete. I thought you'd be." She goes, "I thought you'd be better."
I spiked the ball in her face.
He literally just went like this. I just saw him dead serious. He just went. He looks at his trainer at the time, and he goes, "We have to win.
Yeah.
we have to win."
She still
and then
beat us.
spiked that
Yeah.
ball right in
I
everybody's
did
face.
have to spike it in her
Yeah,
face.
so he'll get it going. We just got to get him going.
Do you play football still ever? You miss it?
I'll play cat because my son's in football now. He's really into baseball. Whatever he's into, that's what I get into.
Oh, yeah, okay, I feel
Yeah,
you.
yeah. That's how it goes, dog.
But you don't play like with your boys ever, like miss it like that?
No,
You
not
don't miss
really.
it out?
No.
How about
It's not like
sparring? You
soccer.
still mess around?
I'll hit mitts still. I'll hit mitts a lot. There's like George Foreman's son owns a gym literally across the street here,
Nice.
so I go there all the time.
Nice.
And I like the gym vibe, like the guys, you know.
I can start sparring. Damn, it's gonna be tough.
Let's find an opponent for Bryan too. We'll do a tag team
I'll do it. I would actually do it. I need a guy who's like, in his 50s or 40s.
or
I'll
60
fight.
or 60.
I'll fight pretty much anybody, unless as long as they're not pros.
Dude, hear me out. Biden, Bryan
Hey,
Callen.
dude, be cool. Be cool.
What?
Okay?
I'm spitballing
Don't be
ideas
insulting,
here,
bro.
I'm
Don't be
spitballing
insulting.
ideas here.
It-
Biden gets on the mic and mumbles.
I get nervous thinking about it because I would take it really seriously.
I think you and that guy in a debate, he'd catch a heart attack and just fucking croak. This is the greatest fucking
He and I'll have
shit
a
show I've
debate.
ever seen in the history of
Dude,
the world.
don't get us started, brother. We'll
Oh,
talk
let me
off
get you
here.
guys started, bro. That is our country's being destroyed by this fucking.
You're
To
pushing
me,
me,
what it-
Jorge. Don't get me
You're getting
started,
us going,
bro.
yeah.
Well, I'll just at
keep
least
talking, though. Keep
end
talking.
it on this note. It feels like I know I've shared the story before with you guys. On air on many occasions, my parents escaped communism, socialism. So since a kid, this was just a hot topic. Constantly hearing about it, constantly. So my theories don't come off like some YouTube video that I saw like 2
Those
weeks ago. And
experience.
those,
Yeah.
it's just like the life
Venezuela.
experiences. Exactly, Venezuela.
Cuba.
Now
Venezuela.
Cuba, what's happening in Costa Rica is trying to lean very hard that way. I just feel like the Communist Party has infiltrated like the Democratic Party, and it's showing.
It's just
man.
bad
Embarrassing.
ideas.
Yeah.
The idea of socialism, the idea that you can socially engineer equality with a huge government bureaucracy. It's just power, and it only
power
grows.
to them.
That's
You
right.
think your
Not
boy
to us.
DeSantis wins, has a shot?
I mean,
You can be sad if he leaves Florida and
that
He doesn't
that
have
is
a
a
shot.
thing that I think all of us Floridians are like, we're losing the greatest governor in the history of governors. But if it's to a greater good to serve as a president, but also he's got I
It's
think
tough
the
hill to
tallest building. He's got the tallest building.
He's not going to beat
Trump.
Trump.
no, but he could. Why
You gotta
not,
go
why not
against
be
him in the
VP?
primaries.
Be VP.
That's
Be-
what
He won't
I
beat him in the
wish.
primary. Nobody's going to vote.
No, but he should be VP. But I don't think DeSantis. Maybe it's an ego thing. He doesn't want to be VP.
I wouldn't do VP because you become invisible. And anybody who gets close to Trump things don't work out a lot of times. So I would say he should stay governor of Florida. Let Trump go through this thing. Trump's got a lot of things to deal with these indictments. But wait another 4 years, man.
And then go
Keep
for
killing
8.
it in,
Yeah.
in Florida and then go crush it. He's
that's-
a young man, dude. He's got time.
That's the exact same plan that I would want, so I could keep him as my governor
Yes.
again, and then let Trump, because he's also older. What we don't want,
Trump's 77.
let him go now. Let him do his 4 years, and then let DeSantis come for 8 years straight, and
Right.
just
And a lot of
clean
people in
up
Florida
house.
don't want DeSantis to win because they want him as the governor. Like, so
A lot of us
stage,
want him
I'm
as
like,
the
we're
governor.
taking DeSantis. Right?
You know.
Boo!
I
keep
would
him
suggest
here.
I would suggest that DeSantis' team knows exactly that. So typically, if you ever
They
watch
see the
somebody who
polling.
becomes president, you make a run.
It takes a while.
knowing that you just get yourself out there,
Yeah.
knowing you're not going to make it in the primaries, but you make a run. You
People
make a
get
stand,
familiar with you.
go back to being governor. Now we're like, oh, that guy. Now people like us are talking about him running next time.
DeSantis isn't a
It's
headliner
plan.
yet. He's
It's
still a
plan.
feature.
That's right.
Still a
It's plan.
feature. Yeah.
But he'll
He's
do
up
it.
against Trump. I mean,
Yeah.
if just Trump wasn't there, I think he'd smash every
Yeah.
every Republican. He would
Agreed.
smash him.
Trump is
Agreed.
just too entertaining.
And it's just like, not overnight. It's a long lineage of freaking the Trump show. You know.
Do you ever talk to Trump about like, hey, dude, you gotta quit. You can't like Colby. Do you ever tell him that?
Nah, I never told him that. I don't even think he likes Kobe. He's just somebody advocating for him, and just his team uses him. Like, yeah, put us up in this and that.
Yeah, 'cause-
but I
yeah.
don't think he actually cares for Kobe, to tell you the truth, man.
That's
you know,
fair.
Have
I
you
don't-
actually
I
hung
don't-
with Trump? I mean, you know him.
Trump, the last time he messaged me was at the fights on Saturday. He saw me on TV. He's like, looking sharp, my man. Stay fitter or something
Yeah,
like
we get
that. He
text
said,
from
you know, I
Trump.
got a text from Trump. I was like, everybody with me freaked out because, of course, I showed everyone, look who messaged me, man. Trump,
You're a
man."
legit celeb now, bro. You're as
Oh, dude,
big
he's
as-
Tom
extent-
Cruise in Florida.
Well, he's also Tom Cruise. Like, if he walked around,
You can't walk
Hollywood,
anywhere.
What's funny about a fighter of his stature is every major movie star knows who you are. So if you walk into a Hollywood party, everybody from Will Smith to whoever it might be,
You're also
they
not
wanna
going to
be near
confuse
you.
it, though. You're not going to be like,
Nah.
is that Jorge?
No,
like,
they
there's
know
not a
who
lot
it
of people
is.
that look, you know?
Nah,
Nah,
they knew
like,
who
no
it
one's
was.
things ain't gonna
confusing
help
him.
as soon
Yeah,
as
it's
they see
like-
these fucking things.
In the way he dresses, his hair, like, no one's confusing
I want
him.
to dress like that. I don't have that fucking hair.
I thought this was like a LA, you know, like very
Bro, I don't know.
LA
That's a Jorge
weather
Masvidal.
vibe thing.
No, it's dope. It
It's
works.
the weather.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
hot
weather.
as shit out
That's
there.
a Miami thing, and you get
Miami
away with
thing?
it. but few people can pull that off. Not even you can pull that off.
No, I can't pull that off.
Dude can, you got to be.
No.
You should have your own clothing line.
I wish, bro.
Step in. I just don't have the hair.
Well, hey, we know you're busy, brother. I know your team says you got to roll, so we appreciate it, man.
Thank you
Keep
guys.
crushing
Anytime,
it.
brother.
We'll be in
Anytime.
contact, brother.
We're gonna
Definitely down to commentate.
We're gonna have you guys commentate, and then we're gonna have him do the square off in the ring with whoever he picks. Like, that
down.
guy. I want that guy neck. That's it.
I'm
Boom.
scared.
Bro, count me in. I'm down.
All right. Love you guys.
Thank you guys, man.